Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. I didn't think I was going to make it on time. I was rushing from work and I got stuck behind a train. So I'm here. I made it on time. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I am going to take some time to just kind of remind people how to find me. If you are watching on Facebook Live, awesome. I'm so glad to see you. If you are trying to catch the replay, the videos sit here and they also sit on YouTube. So I want to just put that up to make sure that don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. Hit your notification bell because that is going to tell you when a new episode gets dropped in. And so it's good to make sure that you can kind of catch up on the episodes that you haven't seen yet, or maybe it's something that you want to go back and watch. I have everything categorized. I will actually play this for you so that you can. All right, so you can see from that everything is kind of categorized into different things that you might want to watch, like business tips or just connect shows or whatever you want to look at. So go ahead and look that up on YouTube and subscribe. All right, I will be back just after this.
I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips, host of Just Connect. I am an audiologist, a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a connector. This life is about connecting for the right reasons and to the right people. I believe making authentic and true connections lead to growth, change, and impacting the world.
Okay, all right. So I was trying to get everything shared out. Good to see whoever's on here. Say hello to me so I know who you are. I am Dr. Natalie Phillips. I am host of Just Connect, and I'm super excited to be here today. I want to talk about a great topic that I thought was kind of interesting. And, I've talked a lot about kind of putting yourself out there, right? Taking all these different opportunities. I get asked a lot of the time, how do you get these opportunities to meet all these really cool people or all these different learning opportunities that you are posting about, right? And so I wanted to take some time. I found this really, really good quote. It's in the post right now, but then also, I did it earlier in the post that I put up earlier just to talk a little bit about how you step out and how you get your business to grow. Because a lot of the times we get so caught up in, okay, here I am doing what I'm doing, but it's also good to reach out and try to figure out, when is it time for me to step out of my comfort zone? And when do I need to, add some other things? So the quote that I put up there was, your business can only grow as far as you do. And I love that. I thought about that. And I thought that is so true. Whether you are ready to grow your business, you know what? A lot of people, you're never going to be ready. I'm just going to say it out right now. You're never going to be ready. It depends on what you define, right, as being ready. And you just have to go out and do it. So I'm going to just stop and pause and say hello to whoever's here, saying hi to me. Hello, Zelinda. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And Anthony, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. And my dear friend Diane Uzalak, who is in Florida. So good to see all of you here. All right. So today I'm going to talk about how to grow your business further than who you are, right? So the quote that I based this episode on was, your business can only grow as far as you do. And it stems from the question that I get asked a lot about, how do I get all these different opportunities to meet all these really cool people and interesting people? And then also, how am I continuing to learn? So, as I talk about meeting people, it's one of those things where I've talked about it a lot. And the very first tip that I have to put yourself out there is to, everybody can probably say it with me because I say it all the time, is number one, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. So I wanted to pause on this to talk about, what does it mean by investing in yourself? It means a couple of different things. What I was thinking is, okay, yes, you can invest in yourself financially, whether you hire that mentor, whether you hire that business coach to help you, whether you hire people to help out in the expertise, like people to be part of your team where you might not necessarily be able to put your energy and time into learning this craft, but there are tons of other people that are out there that can do it. So a website person, right? Or it could be somebody to take over your taxes, or, so we do this all the time. There's some simple things like, oh man, like I could never do that. But there are some things where you think that you're going to get to it and then you never do. So find that team member, find that person. These are financial ways that I talk about when it means to invest in yourself. But invest in yourself does not only mean financially either. It also means in time. So there can be things that you want to, or you can invest in yourself time-wise that doesn't cost you anything. So all week last week, I was super excited because every year, there is a local startup week where I get to attend different classes, and it goes from Monday through Friday, and there's tons of classes all over the place in the community. This area in Fort Collins, we have this amazing ecosystem of entrepreneurs and business owners, and they once a year for a week, put on and come together and put on a great event called Startup Week. And I know that they have startup weeks all over the place. This is just one idea. It doesn't mean that you have to do it, but these are free classes for a week long. So why wouldn't you take advantage of this? This is something that it's your time. So I had to take out of my time from my clinic, but I had planned it. I look it up, I plan it out, I schedule that time in my clinic so that I don't see patients, so that I can go grow and invest in myself. That takes time, but not necessarily money. Now, for some of you who are thinking, okay, you just closed your clinic. Yes, I guess it does, and talk about financial means that way. But it also is, what I'm focusing on is the time part where, I could have just sat at home, continued to write on my book, things like that. I could have taken the day off, went to the spa, got a massage. But the time factor that I'm talking about is learning about things that keep you fresh, keep you relevant, keep giving you ideas for what you can do to help grow your business. So that's what I'm talking about. Maybe it's not Startup Week. Another way that you can invest in yourself with time and maybe a little bit of money would be networking luncheons. Networking lunches, there's tons of networking lunches in our business ecosystem here in our community, but maybe it's something that you need to find. Maybe start with the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe reach out to people that you might watch and see that they're networking and find out how they do it. But sometimes I've been to networking lunches where you get up, you do your little elevator speech and pitch, and then you pass out business cards, and that's it. So honestly, it costs maybe a lunch for you. But again, very low cost, a little bit more time, but that's how you would invest in yourself with time. Maybe it's investing in that coffee date that you need to meet with a new business associate. Maybe it is signing up for that free Zoom meeting or class over lunch that's free, things like that. So there are always things that you can find that you can invest in yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial means, but think about time too. Reading that book, right, that you always said that you were going to get to, or signing up for different classes. So there's tons of things, tons of ideas that I wanted to throw out there for what it means to invest in yourself. Okay. The second idea that I had was share the knowledge. So don't just go. I went to this startup week, and I furiously, as many of you know me, furiously took notes and notes and notes on my phone. I probably have about 20 pages of notes, but again, when I look back 2 years ago, I went to an all-day podcasting workshop. I took 3 pages of notes. I stayed in contact with the person who ran that podcasting workshop. And about a year later, I started my own podcast. So it's one of those things that it might not necessarily impact you right away, but maybe it'll come back later. Take notes, but then also share the knowledge. So a couple of different posts, I did post some of my takeaways, some of my 10 takeaways that I'm going to share with you, because I do feel that if you're going and you're learning some of these things and maybe somebody wasn't able to go, who knows? Your post or how you share the knowledge might ignite their excitement into doing this next year. Or maybe it kind of sparked something where they're like, I'm going to reach out to Natalie and figure out what exactly was she talking about. I want to know a little bit more about what she learned, things like that. So it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to do, it takes a little bit of your time. But to me, it's going out there and learning, but then also passing it on, sharing the knowledge with the future generations, right? So this startup week that I went to, I brought my son with me. I found a couple of classes. He didn't have school anyway. Instead of him sitting at home, I decided to say, hey, come with me and come to some of these classes. And he went to a class that talked about the neuroscience of trust, which, helps in anything from sales and business to growing up as a high schooler, right? The neuroscience of trust. We talked about that in the brain and how the amygdala works differently from the prefrontal cortex. And he loved it. And then he went with me to another class. And he sat in that class, and that one was, I have to remember, oh my gosh, I can't remember it right now. He'll probably remember it, but he actually really liked that one. That particular guy was a little more engaging and really fun. He had no slides, and so we did a lot of fun talking about different things. Oh, it was the imposter syndrome. That's what it was. So the imposter syndrome. And I really had a great conversation with my 15-year-old about the imposter syndrome and how no matter how much that people work hard and they try to overcome different things, sometimes you still have this feeling of not being good enough. And so we've had a great conversation around that. So whether you're sharing the knowledge with people like this, like how I'm sharing on a social media post, on a show, whether or not I'm dragging my 15-year-old with me to share the knowledge with future generations, maybe invite people to go along with you. I invited some girlfriends to come along with me. I had a girlfriend join me for one whole day, and that was fun because we went to a few classes, then we stopped and had lunch, and we talked about some of the things that we learned, and then we went to a few classes after that. So share the knowledge, bring somebody along with you. That's a great way of doing it as well. For some of you who wanted to know maybe what I learned, I did post it. So I won't take a lot of time, but some of the different classes that I went to, just so that you know, were things about creating video content and using video in marketing and branding. And maybe I learned so much about debt versus equity funding sources for your business, how to know when you're ready, maybe budgeting for your startup. I took a class where we had to bring our computers and we actually had to work on budget sheets, personally, which I've done before, but then just looking ahead at your startup and how to budget for your startup. I thought that was really cool. My son walked in on that and he's like, what are you doing? And I showed him the spreadsheets and what we were doing. And it was a really cool hands-on class that we did to learn a little bit more about budgeting. And so I learned a lot of things about bank accounts. How many bank accounts should you have for your business that might make it easy for you to get access to pay different things like taxes, and maybe one for revenue and one for profit and one for operating expenses. So there was a suggestion to have maybe 5 different bank accounts as a business owner so that it's easy to do that. I learned about again, my goal, one of my things that I just didn't show up to this Fort Collins Startup Week, but one of my goals was to really focus on using video content for social media marketing and branding. And so I did a couple of different classes around that topic. And so I had a goal heading into that. I didn't just show up, but I had goals to look ahead at some of the things that I might be talking about or some of the things that I really wanted to learn about. So again, investing in yourself to go to some of these different classes, whether they're paid conferences, whether they're free, have goals in mind. That's one of the biggest things. All right. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you is don't just go and store everything up in all of the notes on your phone or all of the notes on your computer, not just sharing it with people, but take action. Now, this is something that I am super adamant about. Again, many of you know that I am finishing up writing this book that is going to be released very, very soon. And it's all about taking action. So when you are going out, putting yourself out there to build your business, to stay relevant, to stay fresh, to listen to all these ideas that other business entrepreneurs have done, take action. Try to implement these new ideas right away. Don't just take your notes and let it sit. Make a schedule. Write down different things that you can get done in the next week that will help you take action on all of these different ideas. So as I was sitting in some of my different classes, I went to my calendar for the next week and I said, I have to contact that person. And I put it in my calendar to get it done. I have to sign up for this. I have to do this. So I made myself a list to take action and not just that's great. I just spent a week learning and I'm just going to sit on all my notes, but I am encouraging you to take action. So again, ways or tips that you can take to help you grow your business further than yourself would be invest in yourself, both financially maybe and by your time. Sharing the knowledge. Don't keep it to yourself, but share it. The more that you're able to share, the bigger the impact we can make together, right? And then the last thing is taking action. So whatever you've gathered, all that information that you took, take it, share it, make a list of things that you need to get done, and take action. All right, so those are my tips for today. I'm so glad that you could join me, catching me around the replay wherever you are, and it's so good to see you. I am Dr. Natalie Phillips on Just Connect. I will be back next Monday at 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and thank you guys so much for joining in. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.